How we doing today, people? John here, back with another one. AJ Tracey's second album, Flu Game. He's gone for the whole Last Dance, Michael Jordan thing with this. You know I'm a huge fan of that. Excited for this one. As always, if you want to see it in uncut form, link down description to the Patreon. That's how we support this channel, so thank you for everybody's support on that one. Without further ado, AJ Tracey, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. I leave no recovering, all these yatties wanna come with. I run this London town, got smoke, we double down. And we, when I go Selfridges, the gal treat me like I'm Swayze.
Straight reference to Drake. I just heard Drake spit this flow like yesterday. It's crazy. I've heard this before, so I know he just dropped it as a single, and I heard it briefly before I reacted to this. A bit mid-pace. It's all right. It's all right.
Been getting close. When his niggas pull up, I swear them boys do the most. If you get my number, then don't hit me on no dumb shit. I run this London town, got smoke, we double down.
Yeah, it's good confidence, good delivery. The beat doesn't do a great deal for me on this track. I don't think it's his best work.
I'm in one note gang, in locals know I'm clouty. I'm recession proof, I run it up, so please don't doubt me. Rolex said they're getting new gym sets in, so they'll shout me. If you get my number, then don't hit me on no dumb shit. We on demon time.
Yeah, the consistent pace to it. It's got a good drive to it. It's got me nodding my head. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine as an opener. Listen, this one's called Kukoc. Fucking Tony Kukoc, one of my favourite basketball players ever. Legendary six-man at the Bulls back in the 90s. Great name for a song that's got Nav on it as well. Crazy combination of artists. So, let's go. Okay. A lot more going on in this instrumental already.
I coach you from my city, I'm Jackson, and I make plays just numero uno. Outside trying to step where you go, my young boy that shoot like Kuko.
All white like poodle, stop beefing the rats on doodles. Got a bag on me playing it coolo. 100K look smaller than blue notes.
My set in the streets, look at my neck, my shit is elite.
Yeah, so much going on here. Loads more going on than the previous track. I think his flow's working really well with the beat and the strings in the beat, and Nav has kind of like pulled back a little bit. Sometimes his vocals on his tracks are really dominant, and he's got such a strange delivery that it kind of distracts you from the rest of the track. But being pulled back a little bit like that with a bit of auto-tune, short verse, fine. Yeah, this is good so far.
You snap as a flex is a regular day, I swear I can't make none of this up. You made 100, you feel like the man, but I made the fools and that boy was a pop.
Keeping 30 on 30, a grown man. I don't get cold feet or cold hands. I ain't never dropped open a cold pen. Big 4-5 kick like judo. Got a Spanish girl with a big culo. Came along with...
Fuck it. Nav's just weird, man. He always says weird stuff. I was sending bitches Uber, can't stand Lyft. I mean, is there a double entendre there, or am I missing it? He just doesn't like one particular driving service using an app, but he likes another one. Big 45, kick like judo. There's no kicks in judo, Nav, but it does rhyme with culo. Or you could have just not used either of those lines, but it's Nav. What do you expect?
Can't rate none of them, they're actors, need BAFTAs for the roles they play. Bad chat, but I'm still okay. If I buck that you, then it'll make my day.
Yeah, it's a banger. I mean, AJ Tracey's stuff was way better than Nav's, but that's to be expected. Although the hook kind of worked from Nav, less so the verse. But yeah, on first listen, I think I'll go back to that one quite a lot. I just really like that kind of strings, almost like a mandolin or something going on in the instrumental there. Some good street bars, nothing mind-blowing in the bars point of view. I'm hoping for some deeper bars later on in the project, but that felt like a sort of play to an American audience. I mean, Nav's technically Canadian, but you know what I mean.
My whole team getting bread and you know that. Facts. I brought the old packages flow back. If she ain't new, then she can't get a throwback. And have no what when my snap I gang like I'm colder. I locked up the food for the kids like Boris. And then I let it go like Rashford. Free SQ, free Shanks.
Yeah, I love that line. Locked up the food like Boris and then I let it go like Rashford. Slick line. Yeah, this is just a good song. AJ Tracey always sounds really good in a drill beat as well. Really just got that flow honed down on any sort of beat. 3 different types of beats so far on this record. But yeah, looking forward to this next section after this song. So obviously heard this one.
Play with dogs and end up with fleas. Run up on me, might end up deceased. 40 on the whip, no lease. 240s in the whip with beams. Please, please, babes, ease.
Stubs, 2 APs, 2 magnums, 2 rounds, 2 babies, 2 large fries, 2 breasts, 2 gravies, 2 hand things, 2 cars, 2 crazy.
1 AP, 2 day days, crazy.
Man gets gravy with his KFC as well. Correct move.
I brought my winger back home like Spurs. My kettle collections, water, get caught up.
Spurs. I mean, I'm recording this at 1:22 p.m. 19th of March. A few hours after Mourinho got sacked. World of football in turmoil anyway. But how are Spurs in this European Super League? I don't want it to happen, but how are Spurs in this European Super League? Who's going to be their manager? What a time. Okay.
Look, in my city I'm big, I'm Gandhi, but my enemies come like Ariana. I spent nights on the corner with the spin thing, come straight from the sauna. Look, my lifestyle's like a movie, but I can't tell you about acting. My armband, I'm the captain, that man got touched, that was done by faction. And I ain't screaming out action, but...
This almost feels like where the album's starting for me. I really like this beat. It's got drill elements, but it feels a little more mainstream, maybe? I don't know what the word is I'm using, with those synths in there as well. And again, talking about himself, talking about his life, talking about the streets again, which has been similar throughout the record so far, but it feels like he's spitting a bit more straight away. My lifestyle's like a movie, but I can't tell you about acting. My armband, I'm the captain, but I ain't screaming out action. So action like a movie, and he's not holding off. But also he's not necessarily telling his people to go and retaliate, double meanings there. Okay, this is what I was hoping for, a little bit more levels to the bars, because we know he's more than capable.
For the gang man Maxim, you don't want to see my young bulls at Paxson. Cheerleaders run a man down when I'm walking the spot, they're surely rolling. They check my black star, get platinum golden. That's what I thought I told them. If they never heard, then I must show them. In my city I'm big, I'm Gandhi, but my enemies come like Ariana. I spent...
It's a proper boss tune as well. Loving the football bars as well. Skulls, don't get many Skulls references. A shout out to AJ for likening Javi to Skulls as well. I respect that, especially from Spurs fans.
We live this shop, the cheerleaders like Benihana. My lifestyle's like a movie with the long clip shaped like a banana. Me, that's hands off like gang worked in the Tate or Louvre. My young boy fucked up with a piece, told him he stuck there till he makes it smooth. Our team is lit as some candles, you could get mangled. Talk on my name till we link up, you ain't had static with a millionaire. Your squad depth don't look solid up front, for the finish got Killian hair. Yo, jeans and Zaggy, Carmel and Robbie. More smoke than your favourite stone, our gang got sticks at the Batis band.
Rhyme schemes throughout this verse. This is a killer verse, man. It's got that boss energy that's been carried throughout the track, and in fact throughout the record so far. But I just think the rhymes are better. I think the bars are better here.
There's a cash in hand, I was paying for clips like OnlyFans. In my city I'm big, I'm Gandhi, but... Look, as a youth in sports in college, I never made that draft. I was with a bad team gaining knowledge, trying to split that cane in half. American things or the Rambo live. She said OMG, I'm in the old man's kitchen working white with the OMG. I had no hope when I was broke, but they want my help. Now the kid got rich. I seen kids that take our ribs, that George's crystal with Babin mix. I don't care about indirects, live and direct when I'm at man's crib. I'm in the West End 2-man D3.
Don't care about indirects, live and direct when I'm at man's crib. Obviously live and direct, AJ Tracey live and direct's like catchphrase. Spinning it again with these like reality, these street bars again. He's bringing that kind of boss energy. There's a little bit of pain in this one as well. The block that we hugged, these kids don't know their best man could go snitch. I think this is working very well as a sophomoric album, as they call it in the US, as a second album, because he is at a different level now, but he's not just like abandoned everything from before. So very much talking about that, and it makes him feel relevant in the game, but also makes him feel relevant in his own life. I'm still learning about AJ Tracey the man, because this is the situation he's in. I read an interview with him the other day in The Guardian, which again talked about, he's not where he was, but he's not that disconnected from certain elements of that either, and it's pretty much exactly where you would be at that age, that time in your career, etc, etc.
You niggas come like Steph Curry with the verbal threats, there's nothing but net. As a youth in sports in college, I never made that draft. 500 million streams in a year, I don't think I'm clear, but let me just be clear, we're made in a mouth so we keep one near. Me and D almost caught one live when the mains were basket of you right here. Like 100 racks on kicks and I might go fast, my bond she's empty. Mick said don't tempt me, my up stay mad, the ice is empty. No OMG, American things or the Rambo live. She said OMG.
Man, on first listen, that's the best track on the album so far. But also on first listen, I know there's going to be a ton of bars that I didn't catch first time through there, but I love the fact that I love the positioning of AJ on that song. What I mean by that is like he is talking exactly where he is. I mean, there is literally talking about did 500 million streams in a year, but he still keeps one near. That kind of sums up the whole song for me. But add in the flow, sounds refined. I think that's probably a better word for it at that point. Some warmth and texture to that beat as well. Yeah, Draft Pick's my one so far.
I've been in the streets, the way I trap is elite. Half my niggas got the heat, the other half on the beat.
Okay.
Killers on the curb and giving max and heat. I don't hear the death threats, it's just hella chatting to me. Giving bridges just a teen, I got blood all over my teeth. If a nigga wants a static, I'm feeding them to the wolves. The gorillas, I got hitters that come and shout for me.
Mate, talk about that refined flow, man. Fucking listen to the way he's syncopating across this slightly strange beat. It's almost like it's hard to keep up with in a way, but it's kept that flow all the way through. Also, heard that flow through the rest of the record. So here we go, man. If this whole album is just AJ Tracey refining that delivery, refining that flow, then I'm here for it, for all of it. I mean, there's bars in there again, but it's more, for me right now, it's more about the flow so far, this record.
They're here trying to bring it, I just hit him with a Eurostep. If you post up with an up now, can't nobody back it on a hero flex. Same brothers always get got steady, talking about my name, sorry nigga, out.
There's not many people who would find that pocket on this beat. I don't think this beat is amazing. I don't think it's a revolutionary beat. It's fine. But to find that pocket on it is really unusual, but it's making the whole song, and the fact the song is called Eurostep, working on multiple levels, yes sir.
Run up on the plug and now they're worn out. Had to gather something down the somethings, get the corn out. Big teeth, fit him in the teeth and make a fall out. Clubs I used to stand up in the line, I'm on the board now. Old biggest Vicky that has come, I'm on the war route. New train,
like that.
cherry, you
Clubs, I used to stand up in the line, I'm on the board now. Nice.
Down there, when them see me, them I call me gringo. Ellie baby had to put the baddie on the lingo. Double cup British, yeah, he's think I'm off the Vinto. I've been balling out for a minute, see a hater trying to bring it, I just hit him with a Eurostep.
Killer tune. Really like that tune. We're on a good run on the album now.
Blossom, just bought the Lambo, I'm pulling it out. Rich cherry blossom, a Japanese town. Once my jewelers, they know what I'm about. Rich Japanese, it's so cold I might freeze. Diamonds, they glisten like yuzu in trees. I'll wipe your nose when you ain't got a sneak and cheese. Dropping in guap, I got the chips on the...
White book from Essex, I call it my keys. My keys, was that right? Did I catch that bar right? If so, that is a cold bar. I know there's probably tons that I've missed out the first reaction. I don't stress myself too much and trying to catch every bar through a whole album as you end up giving yourself a migraine. But yeah, the fucking confidence again. Refined flow. Definitely what I'm getting from this record for refinement.
On my sleeve and now come the gossip, got this hot on my top. Got the Lambo, I'm pulling it out. Rich cherry blossom, a Japanese town. I'll take a genre that nobody's fucking with. Tracey it up and I'll make it a bop. Came from the mud and went straight to the top. You can tell cause I still got the dirt on my top.
Oh, that mate. I'll take a genre that nobody's fucking with, change it up and I'll make it a buck. Straight away. I mean, talking about UK Garage as far as I'm concerned. There's West 10 on here. And obviously he had Ladbroke Grove as well, both massive hits. And kind of brought UK Garage suddenly back. When it had been dead for many years, you know, obviously Craig David's kind of back, KSI doing tracks like that. Came from the mud and went straight to the top, you can tell, because I still got the dirt on my top.
Baby soju me up, mix the plum liquor with ice in my cup. I touch down the Shibuya, my chain isn't tucked. It's up, no pagans, it's all the way up. In the venue, I'm shutting it down.
Man, the fucking flow on this one, it's like he's marching through the beat on this one.
Don't show me love, I stand out from the crowd.
AOD in the...
Got your career on my wrist. Walk in the club, see my name on the list. Without me, these rappers wouldn't exist. I'm walking in Harrods, I smell like United Arab Emirates. This ood, I had to spray it generous. My niggas that tan bow were venomous. Soon, you know me, I'm hustling June to this June. This here a new plate, this shit costs a lot. Drive with a Glocky, we're taking a risk. I'm in my back and I'm back in a bitch.
Yeah, first I made one criticism. A lot of the hooks, very repetitive. You know, obviously we've got the repeated hooks throughout the track, but he'll repeat the same thing. Almost like they're becoming mantras. It's happened quite a lot. This one, I'm not loving this one perhaps as much as the previous tracks. And I mean, got your career on my wrist. It's a great flex bar to open things off. Jesus Christ. And there's some good... It started off the rhyme pattern at the beginning of that first verse with the United Arab Emirates. Sprint on generous, venomous, in a way like folded over the lines. That was awesome. It's gone a bit more standard. Still good, but yeah, those repeated hooks all the way through. But yeah, not feeling this quite as much as the previous tracks, but it's still solid. It's doing a good job.
You were taking a risk. Blow these runs cause I need the release.
Actually,
it's good on the outside, but bad underneath. Throw me the pussy, I'm tearing it up. Ex-friend the rat, he got took out the frame. Can't hang with no one that won't give up a name. Still in Chanel, but my dropping in storm. I got your career on my wrist. Walk in the club, see my name on the list. Without me, these rappers wouldn't exist.
Okay. Yeah, while repetitive, I do think that song did a good job of summing up some of the themes that we've had throughout the record. Most of it's kind of flex, most of it's about success, money, riches, women, you know, those sorts of things. But those street elements as well, still kind of defining AJ's character, living a kind of duality in that sense. And I think at that point, as the midpoint of the album, it does a good job of summing that up.
My soul's getting tired, always running from the law. My brothers are getting by, we don't struggle anymore.
Okay.
If you love me how you love me, then love me a little more. They might love you for an hour, then they'll change in a minute.
Man, this reminds me of like a sort of early 2000s like US or half R&B, half rap track, something you might hear Ja Rule on or something like that. Yeah, I kind of like it.
Millie rock, the Darren Molly rock, the Scotty got me nodding off. The shit is popping off, we make the beef strong enough. Won't take another loss, I'm back in front of Babylon. I keep that along, get home and stick the kettle on. Who's running from the law? My brothers are getting by, we don't struggle anymore.
I like this instrumental. We've got the sax coming in there as well. It's kind of layering on. Again, all I'm getting throughout this whole record, flow clinic, and obviously got the Jordan thing going through, and I'm like, it is that real kind of GOAT level flow going through here. The fact he's switching it up so much, the confidence in the delivery, man. It's a very enjoyable listen, this record. There's not a lot that's making me jump out of my seat so far. There's not some crazy beat, some crazy drop. The songs are kind of a little lower key than that, a little more measured perhaps, but that'll probably give them more longevity. Sometimes when you do a reaction video and you hear songs for the first time and it does something crazy, and it makes for a great video, but then you go back 4th, 5th, 6th listen and it just can never have that same impact. Whereas you get the impression something like this, with the refinement that's in there, is going to make for a good listen throughout the year probably. And then there are these bars in there that are going to catch on future listens.
I've been on this mission all alone.
Okay.
Stuck up in this party with a ting I'm taking home, oh man.
Very, very 50 Cent straight away. Again with that early 2000s sound all of a sudden.
I'm the top dog, nigga, my nuts hang. Pagans never saying what they said when they buck, man. Used to see the fiends getting high off a crush can. They wanna get at me, dying over jealousy. I've been in my pen, repenting of the Hennessy. And I got enemies, linking with my friend and me.
They wanna get at me, dying over jealousy. I've been in my pen, repenting of the Hennessy. Fucking hell.
I'm a Caribbean man eating Italian food. And lately I've been playing tennis, flying all over courts. I might jet myself to Cuba just to sit on my force. I got bigger, better dreams. I've been on this mission all alone. Now I'm stuck up in this party with a ting I'm taking home, oh man. Nice with the verb. I got fans that know my lyrics, but they can't say a word. I'm international, baby. I've been told since a teen. I mean whatever.
I got fans who know my lyrics, but they can't say a word. I'll be one of them.
I rap and I rap what I mean. Neon lights say my name in the West End. I don't trust a chick who's dropping gems on her best friend. Show me that you love it, don't put no one above it. I've been on this mission all alone. Now I'm stuck up in this party with a ting I'm taking home, oh man.
That was the one. That was the one. Everything about that. Multiple flows, instrumentals, fantastic. The organ in there, the fucking keys, the guitar. T-Pain on this one, alright.
If you wanna slide, I got a Rolls Royce sitting outside. That's all the time.
Okay. Smooth one, alright.
If you won't hold me down when I need you to. Got my platinum plaque up. I've been dunking on these pussies, got my shack attack up. I've been out there on my lonely just to shank for backup. I need you. Check me out, check me out. Through all these complications, I could never be in doubt.
Me too, I need more, but I'm useless. What you need me for? You went left for me at the detour. Just hold me down when I need you to.
Didn't do a great deal for me on first listen. Summertime shootout there with T-Pain, but might be a grower. Who knows?
I'm off the cup, I just woke up, I'm in a dream. She like my aura, she asking to join the team. I'm from Labrador, where the richest mixed with the poor. If we had some bread, it's cool, we went out on the regular. But I'm still a student of rapping, but I'll be scholaring.
Oh, I like that.
Baby cherry vanilla.
I like that. I'm still a student of rapping, I'll be scholaring. Again, similar theme to the rest of the album. This one's working.
I'm still looking to pay it back. But we were trap locked, odd socks and crack rocks. Bag gal, lit fillers and back shots. In terms of life, that it's only me in the end. I can tell you about some niggas my brothers didn't deserve. I was really jugging, I thought my purpose was just to serve. She like my aura, she asking to join the team. Cherry vanilla, my baby, she look at me.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for good classical guitar and a beat. It can be overused, as we know, but when it's used right like that, always going to sound good. And I think AJ again on fire on those verses there, really kind of getting into it a little bit, talking about his mum, talking about that line about the heroin addict as well, which was really quite a poignant one. So yeah, I think we're talking 12 tracks into this record so far. A few that we've heard already. We're talking, pretty much every track delivering, apart from a couple here and there. So yeah, really, really effective on first listen, and really showcasing AJ Tracey as a rapper who can do everything in terms of versatility. We knew that already, just from Rain with H, then the garage tracks, then obviously stuff going back a little bit like Thiago Silva, with Dave, not with fucking Alex from Glastonbury, with Dave and AJ Tracey. Will we ever get that Killian track? I don't know. But yeah, we already knew he could do all sorts of different styles, and just showcasing, improving it once again here, and mixing in a little sort of early 2000s American, so R&B, hip hop as well, which is interesting. But it wouldn't surprise me to hear him on completely different types of music that don't even necessarily fit in a sort of wider genre of rap as well. Wouldn't surprise me at all in future.
Give you the truth, we could kick it in the truck or we could touch in the coupe. Saying you love me, then show me you do.
Question, tell me what you think about me. I bought my own diamonds and I bought my own rings. Don't worry about it when you're with me.
It doesn't get more nailed on than that, talking about that early 2000s thing. Exact line quotes, exact melody quotes from Destiny's Child there. Like the track with T-Pain, not sure if I'm feeling this one quite as much as the others on first listen.
I said I'm always down to ride with my doggy. I keep a hammer by my side when I party. See that girl, she wants cash, she can't have mine. Put my foot on the gas through the night.
I talked about him doing other styles, and here's another style again.
Like she opened her third eye. They chop against some heat like Muay Thai. Got some virgin pussy, gotta keep my circle tight. The baby call me, gotta introduce her to this life.
Right, I've only heard So Baby twice on this and on, I think, Nav's album. Was it on Nav's album? You guys tell me you watch all my videos. I can't remember. And he said something the fucking knows heinous shit on both. I'm not even going to repeat that line. Okay. Not heard Millie Go Lightly before, but yeah, fantastic voice. It's actually quite a smooth track. I'm enjoying it, kind of vibing out to it, to be honest. So I think, yeah, AJ's done a good job here thinking about it. Yeah, we're nearly in the close of the album. There's Dinner Guest and West 10 after this, but I've heard them both so many times on the radio, and shout out to AJ for having that much radio airplay that there is literally no point listening to them at the end of this album. They almost feel like they're sort of tacked on as bonus tracks. They've both been around for ages as well. So I'm going to let this one ride out and then give my final thoughts on this first reaction. Yeah, I think overall a successful project for AJ Tracey, and as I said throughout the reaction, mate, it's all about that feeling, that refined flow, that educated flow that switches up throughout the various different songs. I think that sort of string of tracks, Cheerleaders, Draft Pick, Eurostep, I think we had Top Dog in there, which is fantastic, and a load of other strong tracks, and I'm going to go back through and probably listen to this. I feel like it's definitely got good replayability. I know I'm going to be able to go back through and catch multiple bars. I think that's one thing, even when AJ Tracey is making pop music to an extent, but also making mainstream music, I guess you would call it, he always backs that up with a bit more density in his lyrics, while never necessarily going all the way in, making super lyrically complex songs every single time, because it doesn't need to be, but there's always a depth there, always, or you catch a double meaning that you didn't catch first time or fifth time or whatever. He's got that in his locker all the time, but with the cadence, the voice, the tone, the flow, you've got an extremely listenable album that I think somebody who's just a casual kind of like mainstream UK rap listener could go through and listen to, but also somebody who's deeply into the scene, and I think it would appeal to an American audience as well, American rap audience, perhaps more than some of the other artists out here. These aren't things that anybody over here should necessarily be aiming for, they don't need to, but at the same time, I do think it stands true. But ultimately, I think, yeah, a successful project. I love the basketball theme. I love the flu game theme. The Last Dance to Jordan stuff speaks to my heart. Absolutely. And yeah, just excited to see where he goes next, because the guy is sort of secret. The guy is kind of like a little bit slightly under the radar, constantly delivering massive hits, but he's not necessarily spoken about in the same level as like a Stormzy or something like that, just in terms of mainstream conversation. But I think you're arguably having even more hits than a guy like Stormzy. So yeah, AJ Tracey delivering, absolutely. Flu Game, good record. Looking forward to listening to it again. If you want to see the uncut version, mindless Dinner Guest and West 10, because yeah, I've heard him so many times. That's there on the Patreon. As always, you always get your uncuts on there, your extra album reactions, your polls, Q&As, all that sort of stuff on the Patreon. That's how we support doing this thing on YouTube. You guys in the Patreon allow me to do this and to keep doing this. So thank you very much for the amazing support there. And guys, I'll catch you all very soon. All right, bye.